Hey everybody, welcome to BrickVault. Today we're building a MIDI scale GR-75 by the builder Mortis V. It's actually supposed to scale properly with like a much larger Nebulon B frigate, but we don't have that model. I thought this GR-75 is really awesome, and we don't actually have an official Lego set for this, what I think is a very essential Star Wars ship. So anyways, it's about 850 so pieces, and I've got all the parts organized out as well as I think I can get them. So hopefully it won't take too long. I'm going to be working from an LDD file. Well, there's a laptop just out of the shot for you guys. And well, let's get started. Alright, so the GR-75 MOC is complete. It did take a while to put together, but that was working straight from an LDD file, no instructions or anything like that. I was basically just slowly but surely working my way through the model, hiding the parts that I had already figured out how to put together. Fortunately, it's built in a very logistical way, so it wasn't too difficult. And I gotta say, for the size of this ship and the scale that we have this is normally like a 90-meter long ship within the universe. There's probably more detail included on this Lego MOC than I think Lego themselves could probably include on a slightly larger sort of playable version of this set if they'd ever decided to make it. It really does have a lot of great detail. I absolutely love how the curved shape of the ship really does come together. But this is a very unique model because this is one of the few times, or I think only time at least, that I can remember having said that you really got to take a look at this thing from underneath. Most of the time the underbelly of spaceships is left to not having a lot of detail, but this is a medium transport ship, and one of its primary functions for the Rebel Alliance was just to move stuff around for them, troops, supplies, whatever you need, and it had a ton of modular compartments on the underbelly. Now, some of the compartments are visible from the front, but really when you look down the entire inside, a lot of this is made of a bunch of 1x2 plates with some cheese wedge pieces on the top, but there's some slight variations here and there with a general code of conduct, at least within the color of containers under there, but really these are just containers that have been attached to the ship, so of course you're going to find some sort of knickknacks and variation. Even some of the mechanical detailing of the thrusters towards the rear is really quite detailed. I really think the builder also showed enough restraint to not overdo it with certain details and really had an eye to keep the proportions really proper. Now, I appreciate the dedication to the curves on the tops and the sides, and there's even a great split that goes down the middle with lots of detail that is sort of tucked on the inside there. But before I get into that, first let's change up the backdrop. I think this white ship looks a little bit better with some blue. And while we're here, let me talk about the size of the ship. I did measure measure this out to around 14¼ inches roughly, which equals about 36 centimeters or just over 45 studs long. I did a little bit of converting for the sizes. With this thing scaled at 90 meters and the Falcon at 35 meters roughly, I would need a 17 stud long Falcon, 8 stud long Y-wings if I wanted to do Gold Squadron, and 6 stud long X-wings if I wanted a Red Squadron. I feel like these might be easy enough builds to pull off, so you might start seeing a MIDI or mini fleet to start forming around this sort of scale for our Star Wars builds. I think that would be a lot of fun. Now, getting back into the great curves of this ship, there's actually a lot of little jointed pieces all underneath that really do add for a wonderful subtle set of curves. This goes from front to back, side to side, and here is a closer look at that small bridge. That's actually the bridge of the ship, extended out in the top and in the very back. There's a better view of some of the thrusters that go along the top, and the parts really do match up quite well, especially between, I think, the top layer of curved pieces and the bottom layer. They're essentially two different separated plates, but the spaces between them and the overall shapes that they leave in both the front and back really do have a nice fluidity to them. Also, a lot of the paneling and tiles that you see have changed colors, and there's also slightly different variations where some of the plate pieces stick out a little bit more. That is totally intentional. These are not supposed to match from side to side, and I especially like the sort of teeth little 1x1 plate pieces that are in between the two different layers. It really does give a nice fun depth to the whole ship. This is a MOC that I think definitely belongs up on a stand and probably could be displayed at sort of a higher sight level just because it's cooler to see the underside, whereas a lot of MOCs you might want maybe resting a little bit below your vision because the underside of X-Wing wings really don't look that good. Anyways, that about wraps it up for this episode, so I hope you enjoy this little MOC. I know we really do in this studio. This is the first time we've had this model of Star Wars ship in Lego form, and I think it'll be really fun to sort of build a universe of ships based around this scale. If you have any suggestions for another Lego creation you want to see us do in the future, let us know in the comments section below. Check us out in the video description if you want to know our stream schedule or anything else. And thanks again for watching. We'll see you next time at BrickVault.